Good afternoon, YouTube. Ian here from Coolice Charge Case and Power Supplies. Hope you're all safe and well wherever you are in the world, and you're all getting excited for Christmas because the countdown is starting within the next few days. In fact, in my house, the countdown has already started. As soon as we get past my birthday on November the 14th, the wife says it's Christmas. So roll on Christmas and any new presents you're getting. So without further ado, I have another charge case to send you. That's a message on Facebook in the background. But anyway, let's get rid of that one. I have another charge case to show you. I have actually a couple more that I must do the videos of. They're on my tablet and I must pull my finger out and get those done. But anyway, this is another one that's been in progress. This one was a new charger for me, actually. This case is holding the new iCharger DX8. And I was keen to see it because obviously in pictures and in the specifications, it is a much smaller charger by comparison to the previous 4010 Duo, which I wouldn't like to say it's going to replace the 4010 because obviously that's a 2x10S charger, whereas this is only an 8S. However, it's obviously the same sort of capabilities with regards to obviously power input and everything else, but it's a much smaller footprint, which was interesting to see. So without further ado, I will open it up. This is obviously for Andy. This case from memory, I've got so many people I'm chatting to, I'm trying to remember their names. Now, he didn't obviously want to go 24 volts, so we went 48 volt with the LTEC rectifier in this instance again. So that's obviously then slung at the bottom. Charger then obviously mounted in the deck and storage. So let me open it up. I've already opened the two side latches to make my life easier, and then we'll open it up. So we'll deal with the bottom half first. So as you can see, we've got the usual, the iCharger DX8 in the middle, and effectively it is dwarfed in this case. We were going to go smaller, but because the 48 volt power supply is relatively big, we obviously went with the bigger case. And in this instance, it's a Max 505, which is the typical sort of size that I use. The added benefit of that was then we could obviously do the storage. So I've basically kind of followed the same formula or flavour as before with a couple of my other builds, with obviously the hinged lid, and then obviously then the laser cut storage compartment there as well. And obviously then I've gone for magnets again at 3-point locations then to keep the lid closed, and obviously that snaps shut quite nicely. And of course then obviously I've got it all matching up then with the carbon vinyl, which was good because obviously these are cut in two pieces, because obviously it's a 10mm polypropylene deck as normal. That can't be done on the laser cutters, that is done on the router. So I use a 4mm bit. So I cut the main deck first, then mount up another small piece of offcut if I've got one, or another blank, cut the door out, fit the vinyl, trim it all out, then obviously then align another strip of the carbon vinyl on top, with obviously then to match the patterns with the door in the middle. Or if I'm really clever actually, and I've got the door cut already, I'll lay that in, roughly space it out in the middle, and then vinyl over the whole thing, and then cut the door out and then trim it nicer to suit them when it's in two separate pieces. So usual sort of thing. Obviously air slots at the front. This slot obviously doesn't do anything apart from allows me to put my finger in to open the door. And obviously the eagle-eyed among you might obviously see the LED remote control in there, which I'll get to in a bit. So then moving up again, then we've obviously got the 3D printed charge connector holders, as I call them. So obviously we've got the channel 1 obviously on this side, and obviously then we've done the usual trick, so we can do 2 to 8S cell count, and then obviously the XC60 on the output. Same on the other side, might as well do the same. And obviously, yep, I've replicated that on the other side for channel 2 of the charger, so that's good. Radial cooling fan as normal, standing vertical with the 3D printed brackets on them. So obviously they creating quite a lot of airflow going through the case, which is good. Pulled air in from the front, round the sides of the power supply, because obviously the power supply unfortunately can't follow the direction of the airflow, which I would like. It's obviously mounted horizontally in here, but luckily the LTECs do run quite nice and efficiently, so they run cool, which is nice. But obviously they'll still get a nice cooling airflow. USB charge port as normal, the twin QC3 one there as normal, which is the aluminium shell one, which is quite nice. Sunk into the deck kind of thing again as normal. AC connector, And obviously I've gone for, recently I've started buying these ones with a little springy flap on them. It would be quite nice to know how well they last over the years. But worst case scenario, we can always obviously replace that with a non-flapped one if need be. And then of course, then you've got the other radial found on this side. So not too much going on with this one. We weren't going too mega busy, if you want, for want of a better word. But just functional. And obviously the guy's obviously not long had the charger, so he hasn't really played with it himself. It just came straight to me because obviously I needed it to work out the work holdings and stuff for it. I think I've got some photographs of this one underneath. If not, I do apologise because I've already bolted this one in, so I'm not going to take it all out to get some, sadly, on this one. But if I have, they'll be appended at the end or stuck on at the end of this video. So anyway, let me get my lead. Let me see if I can do this one-handed. Plug it in. Okay, so that's it. Let me turn it on the wall. Usually takes a few seconds to start up with these rectifiers while they come up to voltage, and then of course then they'll start outputting their usual voltage. And you can just about see actually from the reflection in that what I'm going to show you in the lid in a minute. But anyway, so we're up and running. We've got 49.2 volts coming from the rectifier. Obviously it's a CAN bus controlled rectifier, so obviously I've permanently set the voltage on this to 49 volts. Actually 49.8 I think I normally set, or something along those lines, but it goes down a little bit less than that. So the main thing, which you can probably see now flashing away in the lid, I didn't think of this too well. The other thing that was asked for was a logo. So I've employed the usual sort of trick, and obviously then the giveaway then was obviously the cable chain. So if I lift this up, this logo format layout looks obviously familiar to those that have obviously watched my videos in the past, because I've used this method. I can't remember if this is the second or third case that I've used this in. Customer again said to me, look Ian, I'd like a logo in the lid. I don't really want to be spending oodles amount of money. So I thought to myself, right, I know exactly the format I'm going to use. So 3D printed picture frame one, if you like, with a 3D printed back panel, and then obviously then the laser etched and cut acrylic panel there with the line of LEDs along the bottom. And of course you can see the LEDs are at the bottom because you can see the light coming up from there. And then of course then I've got my fake nut mounts in the corner kind of thing, so it looks like it's been bolted into the lid, which effectively it has, but it just makes it look a little bit prettier. And of course then you can see then this chap wanted Ego Drift and Mania X. So we managed to obviously import the logos, create the laser cut files from them, and of course then the room, and then obviously laser etch them onto the clear acrylic, keeping that acrylic clean as you then start to put it into the case becomes a bit of an issue. And if there is a couple of specks of dust there which can be seen, I do apologise, because trying to keep it clean is a pain in the behind. But anyway, it's in. The colours are obviously currently just cycling through. They can be set on one specific colour and obviously then changed, and the speed and stuff like that via the little remote control. It's a little I think it's an RF remote rather than IR on this one, which is quite handy. The logo on this, the Mania X one was another one I tried. I haven't done it very often, but I managed to literally create like an etched one, if you like, where it created a little, tries to create a little bit of depth to it. And while I'm not brilliant at them, I'm getting better. So you can see obviously on the X there, for example, where you've got the dots, where it kind of looks like it's fading away, obviously with the colour in the corner, because obviously this from memory wasn't a traditional kind of silhouette image or black and white image, it was a coloured image. So I imported it into a program and then said, right, okay, I want to laser etch it, and it obviously does the changes for you, and you can manipulate various settings to get the best possible outcome. And touch wood, it actually looks quite good. Actually, yeah, you can obviously see there what happens there, or how it's tried to replicate it, and when it's in shot it actually looks really nice. So I'm pleased. Customer seems pleased as well. I've obviously sent him a quick video. I wanted to get a bit more of a longer winded video by doing some explanations as well in the background, so I could upload that to my YouTube channel, which I'm just doing now, of course. And of course, yeah, I wanted to share it with you guys so you can see it. we've still got obviously a little bit of scope in the lid. Should he in time say, oh, can we do a little bit more in the lid or whatever, we can do. We can effectively, we could reuse that logo or build in another panel or build around it, whichever way he would like to go, and go from there. But anyway, that's it. Nice and simple. It's going to do the job. Customer's going to be happy. I'm going to wrap this up in a bit, get it weighed, and get obviously the price for the postage so I can get the final payment and obviously then the postage cost and send it out so it can be enjoyed. As usual, thanks for your time, and for all your charging needs, give me a shout. Ian at coolice.co.uk. Take care of yourself, keep safe, speak to you soon. Cheers, bye bye.